I'm just going to go through Healy's gut health. Now, it's not very complicated really. A lot of people try and make out as if the gut health scenarios are extremely complicated the way you look at various things on the internet, but I'll give you a simple solution for intestinal gut health. Now, there's a couple of products that I always use. Number one is it's a brand product called Metamucil. It's been around for a long time, and what I advise you to get is the natural Metamucil, not the one with the additives or the flavouring or anything like that. So it's natural psyllium husks. And what natural psyllium husks do, they're a fibrous husk, and they create a gel in the stomach area. Right, so that gel acts like a flush out. It's not a diuretic or anything like that. It's just imagine a gel, like a jelly in the stomach, and it makes everything go through the whole intestinal tract smoothly, and it cleans the whole inside of the intestinal tract from the large intestines into the smaller intestines. And of course, as you know, you just got to look on the internet and have a look how the stomach works. The stomach sits around about here, where your liver and your heart's about here, lungs sitting there. The stomach's it basically looks like it looks like a bagpipe. You know, the bagpipes for the Scotsmen playing the bagpipes? That's actually what the stomach looks like, and it just sits here. And of course, the esophagus drops down through a sphincter into the stomach, and then there's another opening in the stomach that leads into the large intestines, and the large intestines then moves down into the small intestines, and I think there's at least 10 metres of intestines. So in this part of the stomach, the central part of the abdominal cavity is all the network of the intestines, the small intestines, and eventually, of course, it comes out as waste products. Now, while it's going through this multitude of tubing, basically, the body's absorbing nutrients from the product that's put through the whole intestinal tract. And of course, in the stomach here, which sits here, it's basically secretes hydrochloric acid, which actually dissolves food as it hits the stomach. So, you know, you are what you eat, and what you put into the stomach, it's all broken down, and then the broken down part, called the chyme, actually is slowly pushed through like a muscular, like you're pushing a sausage, you know, you're feeding the sausage through, basically. That's what it looks like in reality. And the whole abdominal system, or the whole gut health, or the whole area that you've got there with all this intestinal tubing, basically has two great nerves that come from the central nervous system, or the nerve stem, the vagus nerve, either side, and then it breaks into various branches all around the intestinal area, and it creates a squeezing pattern, squeezing the food through these tubes, and as it goes through the tubes with water, nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. So there's a great lot of blood vessels around the abdominal area. And you know, when you hear people have irritable bowel syndrome, well, it actually could be irritable gut. That's because of the covering of the nerves all around this intestinal tract. Now, that's a little bit of more detail than I wanted to go into there, but that's the guts of it in simple terms. Now, with the psyllium husks, they turn into, just think of jelly, you know, aeroplane jelly or one of those brands. They turn into a gel in the stomach, and then it processes through the intestinal tract very smoothly, and along the way, it cleans the whole bowel area. Now, the other one that I add in with the Metamucil is black chive seeds. Now, black chive seeds, you can get these from Coles. I think they're about $5 for a packet. Only use a couple of, say 2 tablespoons or so. Black chive seeds basically act the same way as psyllium husks, but I like using both of them, okay? So it's like a little black seed. You put it in water and it expands about 3 or 4 times its size, and it creates a gel as well. So both these, the black chai seeds and the Metamucil, are specifically to cleanse the intestinal tract with a fibrous-like gel. Now you can imagine, just imagine a normal pipe, say in the kitchen, that has just imagine your sink, and your sink gets blocked up because you're putting all this stuff through the sink, through the pipes, and the pipes gather fats and all sorts of stuff. This is if you're a plumber. And then you get a Drano, which is basically a caustic soda. You put that into the sink drain, and it actually cleanses all the fats and rubbish out of the drain, and then the water goes through very, very easily then. So I'm not suggesting that you use caustic soda, of course, but I'm just giving the parallel between cleaning the plumbing and the body's plumbing. So this is not only a lot of fibre, but it's a lot of fibre in a gel, so it cleans the body's natural plumbing. Okay, so that's pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, so all I do, it's as simple as it is, I just get one of these little containers, so you can buy them from Coles, and I'll put probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, I'll put 3 heaped tablespoons of Metamucil in this little container. Then I'll open up the chai seeds, provided I can get it open here, and you'll see the chai seeds, they're like little beads. So I'll put 1, 2, maybe 3. You know, it depends how many you want. That's usually 3 to 3 or 3 to 2. Now you've got Metamucil, you've got psyllium husks, plus you've got chai seeds mixed in. The other thing that I might add in, and this is Vital Greens. Now, I haven't got a lot of time to go into Vital Greens now, but the bottom line with Vital Greens, I don't always put it in this mix, but you know, it's a good idea to have it in there maybe, and you can take Vital Greens separately. Now, Vital Greens are sort of a product all on their own. About 20 years ago, a couple of naturopaths in Sydney decided to put together a formula because they're always recommending stuff to people, and it just got all over the place. So they said, well, what we'll do is we'll consolidate one formula that'll be a general boost for people. Now, in Vital Greens, there's 78 nutrients. I haven't got time to go through them, but it's like a packet of dynamite, this stuff. And it's, you know, say for instance you've got like an elderly person that's, you know, they can't eat that much food perhaps. If you give them Vital Greens, you're giving them like a concentrated dose of 78 nutrients, including greens, all sorts of stuff in Vital Greens. Just have a look at on my website, healyshealth.com, or I've got it on the martial arts website as well, yunjandohealy.com. So then I'll just take 1 teaspoon of Vital Greens and put it into the mix. Now that's enough. Sometimes you could put 2, but I usually find 1. And Vital Greens, it tastes all right. I can just eat that. You know, when I'm having Vital Greens, I'll have 1 teaspoon with a bottle of water with me. I'll just take that down first thing in the morning, drink the water down straight away. Okay, now we just put the lid on this, as so, like this. Give it a little shake, you know, do the little shake thing. Not going to go quite into all the dancing and that, but then you've got it all mixed very, very nicely. Now, in the morning, say for instance, at breakfast time, you know, all I would do is take another one of these empty little containers and put maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons in the container. I'll just say this is the container, right? I'll put 1 or 2, right? Then I'll add a little bit of water with it, and then mix it a little bit very quickly, and then just eat it down. Now, and then wash it down with water. What it tastes like, it tastes like that breakfast cereal that I can't remember exactly what it is, but it tastes like a breakfast cereal that I used to have as a kid, sort of like a porridgey taste. Tastes quite nice actually, but when it goes into the body, you don't have to take much of it. So as I say, about two tablespoons heat in a little bowl, mix it with a little bit of water, just enough to make a little slurry, and then just eat it down and wash it down with a little bit of water. And then what I find is that within a very short space of time that you're off to the toilet, of course, but it isn't when you pass that motion, it isn't like diarrhea or anything. It's very it's hard to be describing the motion, but you have to, because we're talking about intestinal health. It's actually it turns your feces as such into quite a bulky, soft, gentle flush. That's the best way I could put it. So I recommend this, and if you've got problems with your intestinal health, I would probably do this every day in the mornings. It'll make you go to the toilet very quickly, of course, but not as quickly. It just sort of happens naturally. I'd say naturally more so than if you took a laxative or something like that. And then once the gut health is under control and your intestines is working and the stomach's working regularly, at least once a day. In other words, you should be going to the toilet once a day, for the number 2. Once that's operating effectively, then you might back this off to once a week. Well, that's what I do. I'm pretty good with this sort of thing. So when I had a little bit of problem with the intestinal health, I use this every day, and then I just backed it off and use it once a week, maybe on a Sunday or something like that, just to make certain the whole system's working appropriately. And then if you feel, oh look, you haven't been to the toilet for a number 2 in a day, and that's not a good sign. So you might take that in the morning, and I guarantee you within about an hour or two, your system will operate quite regularly again. So that's gut health, intestinal health. I hope that's an interesting subject, that one. And the other thing I'd recommend for bulking, as a snack, to bulk for the stomach, and it's not, it sort of adds in with this whole thing, is dry roasted cashews. You can get them at Coles, and dry roasted cashews, they're quite soft, and they go into a bulky mix. And if you're snacking, dry roasted cashews are quite good for fibre and bulk in the intestinal tract. And there's one other product that I would recommend that you have, and I won't go overboard with this, but I'll just bend over here, and this is the Udo's oils. Now I'll do a separate one on Udo's oils, but you can take a teaspoon of Udo's oils, say with your coffee or your tea or whatever. I usually have it with a coffee and possibly a tea. 1 or 2 teaspoons. Add that together, 1 or 2 teaspoons of Udo's oils. We'll put that there. So we've got, just to recap, we've got Metamucil, which is the base. We've got chai seeds. Put those 2 together. Vital Greens, 78 nutrients, all in one hit. And I can do a separate one on that later, but there's a lot of stuff. Have a look on the website. And then the Udo's oils will top that off. So when you have all these put together, you'll have your system operating very regularly, and there's a whole lot of nutrients in Udo's oils. You can have a look on the website separately. It's sort of a different subject, but I just thought I'd throw that one in while I've got it there on my stack of health supplements. Okay, that's Graham Healy over and out. Hope that helps. A little bit of a sensitive subject for the gut health, number 1s and number 2s and all sorts of stuff. But the rule of thumb is, if you're not going regularly to the toilet for number 2 once a day, there's something not right. And a lot of people have a lot of problems with this because A, it's the sort of food they're eating, more than likely. B, they might be doing any exercise. But C, more than likely, it is the fibre and what sort of fibre they're having. This is a very, very safe fibre, which, as I said, bulks up in a gel, a very smooth gel, goes through the whole system and cleanses the whole intestinal tract. That's what you want to do before anything else happens to you, such as polyps in the intestinal tract and all this sort of stuff. And just on that subject with polyps and what have you, that can be from an intestinal tract that has too many high fatty foods, too many foods high in sugar and all this, and fast food and all that, and not having a good balance with fibre. Now, it's all well and good to have fibre in your diet, but it's easy to put this into your diet on a regular basis. It's a concentrated fibres, and it's far easier than trying to figure it out in, I'm going to have this food, that. You won't do it. I know you won't do it. The 99% of the population doesn't do that. They just buy whatever they like. So at the end of the day, they're the recommended Healy's Health products. I hope that helps, and I'll be doing more short videos very shortly. Okay, Graham Healy over and out. Healy's Health.